I recently gave a talk in Vegas and it was titled, Are You going to Gamble with Your Health? And a lot of people do. A lot of people are just guessing, basing it on symptom. And I just don't believe that's the right way to go when we have objective tools that can measure that for you. So imagine being hooked up to a few sensors around your waist and your fingers and maybe on your forehead with some muscle, checking your muscle tension or your neck or your back. And the computer's showing you where you are and learning, okay, I think I'm here, but this is objectively where I am. And then being stressed and saying, wow, look at all that change. That's what happens to me when I get stressed. You may not want to be as stressed anymore. Stress isn't going to go away. It's a natural part that warns us that something isn't right. You want that. I mean, if someone puts a weapon in your head, you don't want to be relaxed and sing kumbaya. You want to be worried. If there's an animal that's chasing you, you want to run. You don't want to just, wait for it to eat you. So stress is there for a reason. But when you become stressed over, somebody puts something up on Facebook that you like or don't like, or you post a picture of your dinner last night you made and nobody likes it, or Netflix goes out in the middle of your, binge watch, or you're late for work and you're stuck in traffic, or your kid doesn't do something, or your parent doesn't do something, or your boss doesn't do something, or your employee, whatever it is. Things happen, life happens, but how resilient can you be? That's what we like to teach, is how can you become more resilient to overcome the stress that's bound to happen? Stress management is really more of resilient training, we call it, than stress management, because what are you managing? You're managing something that's going to happen and continue to happen, but if you learn how to manage how it happens to you, it's much more important. So I hope this has been helpful for you. I always like to tell people a little bit about my past and how I kind of got to where I am. When you come into our center or you see one of my keynotes or you read the book or you watch the videos here, you're going to realize that it's more outside the box, I guess is a nice way to put it. And the main talk that we give is called Check Your Blind Spot. It's being turned into a book right now. And there's 7 areas that I believe that we all get stuck in. Our environment, case in point, you see the commercials where everybody's happy, or the red bow on the Lexus, or the bank card you need to have, or the vacation with the happy, perfect, tan, fit people. I don't know where they find these people, right? Certainly not me. And then that causes a problem. It causes us to think that we have to have all that. And that's because blind spot number 2 is our mind, where we store all these irrational and negative and unrealistic things that we program ourselves to have. Well, that triggers blind spot number 3, which is our brain. And when our brain starts acting certain ways, now we're locked into these ruts, and we're locked into states of mind and fear and panic and worry that we don't need to have. Well, that leads to our nervous system, which is blind spot number 4, which is all about fight or flight. And when your body stays locked up in that, it sends a signal back to your brain, which sends a signal, and then your mind is just assuming, oh, we still have a problem. We still got to worry. Well, blind spot number 5 is traditional medicine. It's the only area of traditional medicine, mind, brain health, that they don't look at the organ that they treat, as we talked about with Daniel Amen. And then blind spot number 6 is self-help. As much as I love it, they don't have a starting point. They just guess that you're ready to do it. So here's a book. Read it, even though you're being chased by a bear, so to speak. Just don't worry about it. Just dig in and you'll be the best leader and you'll be the best productive and you'll learn this and that. They're all great ideas and I value all of it. But whether you're reading a book or you're talking to a therapist or you're going to your doctor, if you're in that fight or flight mode, you're not going anywhere. You're stuck. You're in the fear mode. And last but not least, the last blind spot I think a lot of people have is they don't have a big picture. Whether it's religious, it's spiritual, belonging to a party or a group or a movement or a family or a partnership or a marriage or something else that's outside of you that brings value to you and you could hopefully bring value to it or a group, that's going to help you get through some of those harder days. So that's kind of in a nutshell what we talk about. And when you look at all those blind spots and you look at how it limits everything, I'm going to leave you with the big picture. When we're stressed, our brain shuts off. Not all of it, just this area up here. It's called the prefrontal cortex. And what happens is that's where we make all these good decisions and we control our impulse and we're empathetic and we have emotional stability and we're just living on full power forward, I guess you could say. Well, when you're stressed or you're worried or you're in fear, all that's out the window. Do you need to know how to do Microsoft Excel if you're being chased by a bear? No, you need to survive. Well, what happens when you're not in survival mode anymore, but you still are, and you're trying to live life without being able to control your impulse and without being able to control your emotions, and you don't have any empathy and you can't communicate well with people? Your personal and professional life is going to fall apart. right in front of your eyes, and you're not going to know why. And you're going to start finding other vices to make up for how unhappy you are. I've seen this. I went through some of it myself. I watch it every day with my clients and patients at our center. They just struggle because they don't know where to start.